Okay, it is a crappy-tastic day, and I am like out of gas. Okay, it is a crappy-tastic day, and I am like out of gas. And running late. It's like everything all at once. I actually might be late for work. The freaking Republicans, and I'm telling you, it just doesn't. I'm not surprised. How's that? I'm not surprised that they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade, even after they promised that it's an institution. They got illegally freaking Republican nominees to the Supreme Court. Even when they got there, they just lied through the fucking teeth. It is their agenda to control women's bodies, and you know what? The ERA has never been passed, so the entire population of the human race are just subhumans to Americans. What the fuck? How difficult would it have been to pass the ERA? Yes, passing the ERA would have strengthened Roe v. Wade. But you know what? That needs to be strengthened. I'm a fucking Republican. This is what kills me about the whole thing. I'm a Republican. I'm forced to freaking to be a Democrat now. I'm forced. I didn't like W. I didn't like Bush Sr. I mean, like most of the presidents, most of the Republican presidents, I didn't like at all. But I'm a born and raised, Republican. I, die in the wool, Republican. I think for myself, I'm not freaking blind, but where the Republican Party is now, that's not the Republican Party that I want. They're just awful. They have no freaking policies anymore. They have no agenda except for to make people's lives more miserable. And a large swath of the population just freaking is in step with them. And I just don't understand it. My father and two of my brothers are freaking just absolutely, in the Kool-Aid and think that this is the best thing, even though their lives are freaking horrible. And they can't afford health care, and they can't afford, can't afford to live. But it's the Democrats' fault. They really believe that. They still believe that freaking pandemic is a freaking hoax. Way to go, asshole freaking Republicans. Perpetrating a lie on the freaking populace. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Why are we going fucking backwards? Choice plus responsibility. I mean, how difficult is that? How hard is that to have in our lifetime? And why is this such a difficult thing? I don't get it. If you're really, I struggle with this so fucking hard. Struggle with it. It is the reason that I don't belong to organizations. Not necessarily the GOP itself. It was the start of it, but it's definitely like a big thing for me because that's where I was. When I was, I'm a Reagan era, all that stuff. Proud to be an American. Die on the, like I said, I was ready. I didn't think much of Jimmy Carter at the time. Then again, my entire, indoctrination, I would say, is the weakness of the Democratic Party and the strength of the Republicans. And all I see is a weak, basically dead party. Shadow of its former self. It literally is awful. The hate, the divisiveness, and people who support it. Like I try to be understanding. I try, it's like people who fly the Confederate flag. I try to be understanding of what you're going through. But as soon as you start to freaking try to force your way into my life and force your ideals upon to me, fuck you. It is insane what they've done. Insane. It's complete and total insanity. And I don't know how anybody could even support it. And I don't know how I can support somebody who believes that racism, sexism, bring back the bad old days because the color of my skin and my gender is the reason why those days were good for me. No, those days were bad for you as well. I am all for smaller government. I am all for personal responsibility and corporate responsibility and stuff like that, and taking care of your own and everything like that. I am capital punishment all the way. I hate the imprisonment generation that was brought up by the Democrats of the South to basically reinstitute slavery. I freaking hate that whole thing. I'm against it. I'm against incarceration as a means of punishment. Don't get me started that it is a death penalty. There's a reason they call it life, because that's what it takes away from people. But I am definitely not a pro-lifer. I am definitely not on that freaking, I do not have that bandwagon. I do not fucking care about your control. I do not care about what you believe. I don't care about it. What you believe is not my problem. It's not my issue. And you shouldn't force your fucking ideals upon me, your morality. Because your morality is fucking flawed. Especially if you think that harming women and taking away women's, taking control over women is the right thing to do. It's wrong. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Roe v. Wade made the path for gay marriage. Made the path for interracial marriage. Roe v. Wade needs to stand. It needs to stand. And yeah, we're in a democracy where it doesn't have to, but it needs to stand for democracy. Personal choice is exactly what that is. And I am not going to say that, women who have to deal with that choice and have that choice and stuff like that, whether it's that it's easy and that it's not freaking heart-wrenching and that it's not sad, and it's not all those things that go along with it, but you have to give them the choice. You either have to give them the choice, or if you take control, you have to take responsibility. The government's saying, I will take responsibility for these women. That's what that's saying. You are not going to take care of these women in the 9 months of pregnancy. You're not going to take care of these children that these women, the unwanted children that these women have. You are not going to do that. So why are you forcing them to choose? Why are you taking their choice away? It's amazing. And it's bullying. I've been talking about being bullies till the cows come home. Pretty much every time I talk about how much I fucking hate bullies. Well, guess what this is? This is the government bullying people, like taking your choice away. You freaking Republicans who are basically like, my gun, my this, and my, to protect me from this government. Guess what? This is what you're talking about. Yourself. You need a gun. You're telling me that you need a gun to protect me from you. To protect you from you. Just so you know, that's exactly what it means. So when the Constitution breaks down, that gun rights that you think that, the Second Amendment that you stand by, that you think that you believe gives you the right to have your gun, they can take that away too, just as easy as they took away women's right to choose. Because you no longer have a right to choose. Oppression. You have no idea how freaking pissed off I am. And I freaking said it yesterday. Oh, I hate this shit. You can't just do the right fucking thing. Do the right thing always. have to be fucking so blind? Watching people fucking die from this fucking, pandemic, needlessly, wrongfully, because they think that the cure will kill them. They think the treatment, the right treatments, are wrong for them and have microchips or whatever the fuck they think. And instead, they're going with freaking, almost voodoo and freaking, thoughts and prayers or whatever the fuck they think that they, before they get put on a ventilator and then die. I lost family to this fucking pandemic, and this is because of Republicans. It's Republican incompetence. It's Republican incompetence that's keeping this fucking thing going. We had herd immunity right after right when they started giving the shots, and people didn't fight against it and freaking just got their fucking shot. Strength in this nation. That's what we need. We need a strong nation. Not a weak one. Not a divisive one. We need a strong nation. Ah, Deadpool, what are you doing? Deadpool said, I'm out. He's fucking yelling. Rain is not helping my freaking bladder. It's May the 4th, and I was gonna do some Star Wars things, and and maybe I'm freaking upset because like I'm not in Star Wars fandom anymore. Maybe that's what it is, and I don't really enjoy May the 4th like I used to. It's not the same. Yeah, yes, I like The Mandalorian. Yes, I even like the Book of Boba Fett. I thought that was done really well. I'm not a big Rebels or Clone War fan. I finally got watching all of that. Force Awakens kind of like interrupted that because I was starting to watch it. Yeah, I watched it, and I'm not as impressed as most people. I'm not a big Ashoka fan. I never really was. But I definitely like the TV show. I definitely like The Mandalorian a lot. And Boba Fett was okay. Boba Fett needed to be better. That's what it was. Boba Fett was sitting on the verge of something spectacular, and like I said, it's okay, it's good. It's an ensemble cast, He's not a rogue guy going on his own and doing his own thing. It's definitely you got an ensemble, but I'm just kind of like, yeah. The fact that The Mandalorian commandeered 2 freaking episodes really, I don't know, it didn't sour me. It was nice to see that, but it's like going, that's Mandalorian stuff. That's all Mandalorian stuff. Like, are they not coming back out with a season 3? Is Boba Fett going to take over? Is Book of Boba Fett going to be in freaking The Mandalorian now? Is he going to get 2 episodes? I hate when they do that shit. And the Bacta tank being like the cure-all, everybody in the Bacta tank. I understand the Boba Fett, probably needed it, but probably needed many of it. soured me on Star Wars. I still haven't. I personally haven't recovered from it. I definitely never got on the bandwagon with the prequels and started talking about how good they were. They were pretty bad, but not as awful as the sequels. How's that? I stand by everything that I said when those came out. I stand by everything that I said. That George Lucas should step down. I was all for that. Because Lucas stepped down for Empire Strikes Back, and that is the best Star Wars film ever made. So nothing beats Empire Strikes Back. Lucas's ex-wife freaking edited Star Wars A New Hope, and it's the reason why A New Hope is a watchable film and has endured all these years, because of the editing, not because of what George Lucas filmed. And it definitely shows in the prequel what George Lucas would do. And I'm not going to say that his vision's bad. I'm just going to say, as a filmmaker, it's kind of Revenge of the Sith is the only really watchable of the three, and it's kind of okay. Even Rogue One is better than it, so you can make a film now, to compete with the 1970s, 1980s films. I'm gonna go take a break, and you guys can watch Deadpool for a little bit. You see me out the window, I think. I'm gonna get some gas. freaking $50. Just, yeah, not, well, it's above a half. That's good. $40 used to basically fill my tank, and it used to not reach $40. Used to kind of scrape it into it, and now $50. Yeah, 3/4 of a tank, just under. It's gonna be $70 to fill the tank up. So Star Wars, because it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you always. I wanted to do the Catholic thing, and also with you. We lift up our hearts. I've never jumped on the bandwagon of, like, you know, protecting the prequels. I'd hoped, because of the success of Marvel, that when Lucas turned over the reins to Disney after doing his, you know, the prequels, basically people calling for his head. I mean, it was. I never was calling for Lucas's head. I just, you know, just very disappointed in the prequel movies. I mean, Phantom Menace was a huge disappointment, and then you had the Attack of the Killer Clones. It was kind of like that did a hold my beer if you were disappointed in this, and then you had Revenge of the Sith, which was kind of like, we're sorry, we fucked it all up. Poor Hayden Christensen, you know, an up-and-coming actor who looked like he was going to have a huge career. My Life as a House and stuff like that. A huge career in the business, and playing Anakin Skywalker killed him. Jake Lloyd playing Anakin Skywalker killed him. Killed his career. That's what I mean when I said killed. Killed their careers. The absolute worst thing. And I thought Natalie Portman was too old to be Amidala, and, you know, Jake Lloyd I thought was too young to be Anakin. I think that they should have used. I think they should have used like Hayden. For the first one, maybe a little bit younger, but not much. But somebody who would be too old. Somebody where the Force is out of control and raw, and like that would have been awesome to see. Not somebody who's kind of dabbling in it and had midichlorians, you know, through the roof, and how he was the chosen one, all that bullshit. Who cares? See sword. Let's see lightsaber fights. You know, show where freaking Luke got his piloting skills from. They barely even touched on it. I know there was the pod race, and, you know, him, you know, Jake Lloyd, you know, flying the I can't even think of what it is, but the Naboo Starfire, fighter. That the Mandalorian now has. But yeah, one of he flew both of those. But it's kind of, I guess, because he's young, it's just like Now this is pod racing. Yeah, so, but it's an amazing thing, huh? Freaking Deadpool, what are you doing? Yeah, your pin came out. I'm still kind of upset over the first thing I was talking about, and it's because I'm so disappointed in America. I mean, like why can't we strive to be better? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to still fight for things that should be given to us? We should be working towards bigger things. There's bigger things to do. Incredible things to work on. And you should be at the table. You need to be at the big boys' table. Not sitting here at the kiddie table, friggin', fighting over, who gets a drumstick. Bullshit stuff. This is all petty bullshit stuff that we're fighting over. There's real issues. There's real problems. There's real world issues that need to be resolved. Need to be taken care of. Climate change. Our impact on the world. The nuclear power being created and destroying this planet. It's the fires, the earth basically rejecting us, and how we're going to basically come up with a resolution to solve it. Not stick our heads in the sand and hope it goes away. Not blame freaking, people because of the color of their skin or their gender or their sexual orientation or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Whatever, I can't even think of how you want to divide us up and put us in little boxes. No more boxes. No more boxes. No more blame. Responsibility. It's time. Stop this fucking shit. How do I stop this madness? You know how I'm going to be voting. I know exactly how I'm voting. Friggin' I'm a registered fucking Democrat. How did that fucking happen? Because I have to choose love. I have to choose people who actually I feel care. Is misguided and is wrong and is all sorts of things that, and is weak as people see them as. I have to choose it over hate. I have to. And here are the Republicans again taking away my choice. Here they are again. I don't blame the Democrats. The Democrats are the choice that they've always been. But the Republicans could be the choice. And they're not. They're the wrong choice. If I hated myself, maybe I would consider voting Republican. But I don't hate myself. And I don't hate other people. I don't hate at all. I can't be a Republican. It's insane to me. And 74 million people, I don't think they see it. I think they think this is a win. We gotta win at all costs. Win, win, win. We have to lose to win. We're going to be fucking losers so we can win. We're going to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world and stick our heads in the sand, and hopefully this all blows over and everybody's going to be happy. Well, guess what? It's not going to work that way. You got to take fucking responsibility. You got to create policy, not consolidate control. Warp speed was probably the only good thing that the entirety of Trump's 4 years did, and his own party, his own people, including Trump himself, fought against it. The one good fucking thing that he did. It's crazy. Like I said, I'm running late. I even had to stop and get gas. I think I have like 10 minutes. Yeah. I got 10 minutes. And I'm gonna make this happen. Alright? You have a good one. Alright, and as always, cool beans. Alright, take care.